there's been a lot of sad
That I'm working on.
Okay.
My own sense of
That's
helplessness.
my
And I was like, okay.
Welcome to another installment of Leadership Landscape TV, where we go inside the minds of local community leaders and allow them a chance to offer some keen insights into how they see themselves and, most importantly, explore just what makes them tick. I'm Kurt Jacobs, host of Leadership Landscape TV, where previous interviews have included leaders from the world of politics, business, religion, sports, today's case law, community activism, and civic engagement. Today, our 149th guest is Judge Erica Lee Williams. She's the presiding district court judge for the 30th Judicial District in Division 17. Now, for those of you who don't know our guest, allow me to read some of their bio. She was born in Berlin, Germany. She graduated with a degree in corporate organization and communications in '99 and from Western Kentucky University. In 2002, she received her Juris Doctor from the University of Kentucky. Prior to the bench, she was a practicing attorney at Dinsmore and Stoll. And then in 2009, Erica was appointed to serve by Kentucky Governor Steve Beshear. In 2010, Erica was elected to a full term and subsequently re-elected in 2014. She also serves as presiding judge for teen court in Jefferson County. Her professional accolades are numerous, such as in 2014, Louisville Magazine named her one of 50 most powerful people, and she served as a mentor for the Biz Woman Mentoring Monday event. In 2013, she was named a Business First Enterprising Woman to Watch and became a graduate of the Leadership Louisville class. In 2010, she was the honorary chair for the second annual Lupus Foundation of America's Walk for Lupus Now event. Judge Williams serves or has served on the board of directors for the Governor's Scholars Program, Canine Christian Church, University of Kentucky College of Law Alumni Association, Louisville Bar Association, and Family and Children's Place. Williams also mentors many students at area schools, including Central High School's Law and Government Magnet Program, and has collaborated with Indian Trail Elementary to aid with their innovative Micro Society program. As a member of the Louisville Bar Association, she even serves on the Diversity Task Force, Summer Law Institute Program Committee, and Summer Internship Program Committee. Erica is married to Louisville native Jason C. Williams, a corporate attorney with Frost Brown Todd, LLC. And in 2012, both Judge Williams and her husband were recognized as Business First 40 Under 40 honorees. They have one daughter, Jacqueline Chase. Erica, it is a pleasure to have you on Leadership Landscape today and an inspiration. Welcome. What drives you to do what you've done in the legal profession and at a relatively young age and everything you've done in terms of the community and outreach? I think it's pretty phenomenal. What drives you?
Well, thank you, and thank you for having me. I'd like to say,
Well,
first of all,
thank you.
what drives me, I come from a military family, and so service was not an option in our house. It just was a way of life. It was an expectation. And so from a very early age, I've always been, I guess, quote unquote, driven and had goals and had my 5-year plan and my 10-year plan, and I've always set my life to make a difference, right? Have a purpose. So.
Okay. Who do you credit most influential in your life, Erica? Again, it could be more than one, personal or professional.
I think my father,
Okay.
for sure. He was an amazing man, a very kind soul, very respectful of other people, commanded respect, and it was because people wanted to give that to him. He didn't wield with a big stick. He was just a pleasant person, had a team mentality, wanted everybody to do well that was around him. It was infectious. And so I think I draw a lot from my dad as far as what it means to treat other people.
Okay.
The other person, although I have many, but the other one certainly is Jacqueline, my daughter,
Okay.
because I have to be very aware of the woman I want her to be. And so in order to do that, you can't simply just talk a child to death, right?
Right,
You have to
right.
show them. And I learn every day, more and more every day, of how much she watches mommy and what I want for her. So I'm very aware of the influence I'm having on her, and that in turn has an influence on me.
Okay. What was the most defining moment of your life, Erica? And it can be more than one, personal or professional.
Right. I think the passing of my father.
Okay.
10 years ago. He was 57, I was 27, so
Wow.
very young age for both of us.
Okay.
I think that made me very aware of time and not taking it for granted that you can do something tomorrow. Very aware of setting your goals, making a decision. Your goal could be, to have a better marriage or be a better person, whatever it is, to do it now rather than waiting for some date down the road because you're not promised that. And then with my daughter, defining as far as really becoming aware of what's important and what's not. She was 9 weeks premature, had a plan, birth plan, all these things to have happen. And then I have this 2-pound, 14-ounce child who's in the NICU. And life becomes very clear to you on what's a big deal and what's not. And at the end of the day, most things are not a big deal.
In my research, you had said she was the size of
Like-
a baby bottle.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, yes.
And
she
today
sure-
she's
She is, she's 3. She wears 5T.
Oh,
she's
awesome.
a size 10 shoe. So she's
I love it.
yeah, she's huge. My husband is 6'4",
Oh, there
so
you go.
apparently, yeah. But I mean, she was
Yeah.
a preemie. Come on, that's
Yeah.
that's remarkable. Even though I'm a tall person, I'm 5'1".
Okay.
Not
yeah.
at all. Yeah,
That's
she'll be
another
taller
TV
than me.
show. Right?
She'll be taller than me when she's 7. There's no
Okay.
doubt.
What is your biggest professional regret, Erica? And it could be more than one, personal as well. Regret's a strong word.
Yeah.
so.
I don't have any. I think
Really?
everything that's happened has happened in the way that it was supposed to. Even at the time when you feel disappointed or you think that it's a setback, it's usually a setup for something bigger.
Okay.
So I think everything that has ever happened to me, if people call it that, has been to get me to where I am
Okay.
today. And everything that continues, it just leads you to the next step.
On the flip side of that, what is your biggest professional triumph? Again, it can be personal, more than one.
Well, certainly receiving my appointment in 2009 and then my elections in 2010 and then just in 2014. It's just been phenomenal.
How does it work on a day out of the middle of nowhere? You get appointed by the governor of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Why don't you let the viewer in on what happened that day?
Well, it's a process, and so
Sure.
you're working on it. And bottom line, though, is there is a selection committee of all the applicants. You submit your application. The committee selects 3 people, 3 individuals that
Jeez.
will be submitted to the governor for the appointment to
Okay.
a judicial opening. At the time, we had 7 that were going to be open. The first appointment included 3 positions. And so it was July 1st, 2009, and it was about 12:30. I was at a board meeting, and I got a phone call. It was Justice Minton, Chief Justice Minton from our Kentucky Supreme Court, calling me to tell me that I had made the top 3.
Okay.
Super excited because can't take that, right? That is a mark, that is a status, because that means hopefully you could get the next appointment, right? Not this one. I wasn't
Right.
thinking about that current one, but the fact that I made top 3 would set me up for something down the road.
Sure.
So, but in the interim, there is a 30 to 60 day period the governor has in order to make an appointment once the committee has made the selection. So I leave the board meeting. I'm so excited. I go home. I get my matrix out. It's a big whiteboard of everybody's names and what I had to do.
The
If I
planner.
got if I
Yes.
got to this moment, this is what this white poster board was all about. And so I'm circling and jotting, and I'm like, I got to get on it because there's a chance this could happen, right? So I have no time to waste. So I'm at home, sitting on the floor, and I've got my poster board out. I called my husband, my mom, and my sister, and told them I made top 3, and everyone was super excited. And again, that's what we thought. That's where it would end for this time. So about 3 o'clock, my phone rings, and I see it's a Frankfurt number. And I'm so sad because I know
Right.
what this is. You're calling to tell me that I didn't make top 3. You're not calling me for any other reason. Or something, some kind of a logistics or something. But I didn't think anything good could come of it because I just talked to the Chief Justice at 12:30 and you're calling me at 3 something. So I answer the phone and I'm disappointed in my tone and hello, and the other end says, can I speak to Erica?
Yeah.
I said, this is she. He says, this is Adam Edlin. And I was like, hi, Adam. And he says, I have the governor here
Imagine
and wanted
that.
to tell you that you received the appointment. And been to law school. I've done well, I can handle myself. I've been in serious situations. And at that moment, all I could muster was to scream, a deafening scream, and then hang up the phone on Adam and the governor. And that was it. I didn't say thank you or anything. I just hung
Yeah.
up the phone. And then I called my best friend who knew someone there to call her to tell her what happened, that I think that I got the appointment, and I think I just hung up on Adam
Oh
and
my
the governor.
God.
So she calls and confirmed, and we laughed. And then I called my husband, and I said, I got the appointment. And he said, an appointment to what? Like a doctor
Right.
or something? Because
That's what we guys
no
do,
one's
yeah,
thinking,
it's
well,
like,
he's not
right,
thinking,
right.
2.5 hours later this happened because the governor always takes, days, weeks, something to have this happen. But it didn't, and it was true. And it was July 1st, and it was super sunny outside. And my husband came home, and everybody was excited. And it's been the best day ever, one of the best days
Well,
ever.
sure,
But
sure.
one of the best days ever. And there you go.
What's a good segue into the next question? What is the best piece of advice ever given to you, Erica? It can be more than one.
Never ever give up. That's simple.
Let me guess. Who you got that from?
My dad.
Your dad.
Yes.
And your testament to that, it happened on July 1st,
Yes, that's right.
2009.
That's right.
That's cool. If someone asked you, what does Erica Lee Williams stand for, what would you tell them? Not what they think of you, which might not be suitable for airing. Just kidding. But what would you tell them? How do you perceive yourself, in other words?
Well, I think I am the same person all the time, but professionally, certainly committed,
Okay.
dedicated, hard worker. Personally, I think I'm really funny. My husband doesn't think I'm as funny as I truly am, and I am. He'll come around maybe one day.
That's what they call being married.
You know,
I know the feeling.
He knows I'm funny, but I think I'm funny. I think I'm compassionate.
Okay.
Certainly care about other people before I would care about myself.
Okay.
And I think that's, dedicated. I think then that goes in both realms.
Sure. Now, this show is called Leadership Landscape TV for a reason, so that's why we asked this question. Can you define leadership in one word in the great English lexicon?
Yeah, respect.
Respect.
Yes.
And thus, judges get respect. I like it. I like it.
Well, you have to give it, though, right?
That's true.
So I think to be an effective leader, at least for me, you want to be the type of leader that you would follow. And so what does that
Okay.
mean? And so it's respect. It goes both ways. You can be in a position of authority or a position of quote-unquote power, but it means nothing without respect. You can be the smartest person in the room, but if you don't respect the people you're talking to, you're not going to get anywhere.
Now, this is a real self-interpretive question. If you could change one thing in your life or in general, what might that be? You get more than one.
There's so many areas. There's so many issues that I see in our country. I think though what it would boil down to for me was for everyone to truly have the same opportunity, because
Okay.
we have child abuse, we have children who are hungry, we have homelessness, we have all of these issues that happen. But if everyone truly had, because people can say that we all have the same opportunities, we don't. But if everyone had the opportunity to have the same privileges and chances as everybody else, I think that would be it. Just a great equalizer, and then see where we would be.
Now, this is the mouthful question coming up. Could you describe in detail a particular scenario or incident where you utilized your own philosophy on leadership, which is respect, you said earlier?
Yeah, I think, for judges, we do a lot of different roles that the public doesn't know about. We're on call for 24 hours. We do search warrants. The detectives will find you at home or Toys R Us or wherever you may be. We do cremations. We do weddings. We do. We don't perform a cremation, but we do the order for a cremation, and then we perform weddings down at the courthouse. And so a couple of weeks ago, I had a woman in there who was petitioning the court for a cremation of a loved one.
Wow.
And I have to swear anyone who's before me, swear them in to tell the truth and ask a series of questions to make sure we're getting to the right decision, because it's a heavy one to make.
Sure.
And so I'm talking to her, and all I could think and really focus on was the fact that she just looked so alone, right? And she needed a hug. So I got off the bench and came down to her and hugged her, and then we sat down and finished the line of questioning together. Rather than her standing before me by herself, we sat next to each other, and I questioned her. And I did it for the simple reason that's what I would want someone to do for me, or Jacqueline, or my mom, or whoever that I care about. I would want someone to be compassionate and show that respect.
This other question I want to circle back to. If someone asked you, what is the single most positive contribution, you've made to humanity or to yourself or in general, what would that be?
Jacqueline.
There you go.
I think she is going to do phenomenal things, and I'm just blessed and honored to be her mom. I can't wait to see what she does.
That's
That
awesome.
child, without question, absolutely has a greater
Well, her
purpose.
mommy's been appointed by the governor. I don't think she has a choice but to succeed.
She just, by her own start, though, she's a spunky little fighter, and wasn't on a ventilator, her start is just that's a show in and of itself. But that kid is, and everybody's children are special. It's not, but she's
Sure.
destined for something
I'm going to give you
amazing.
these to hold up for the viewer and
Yes.
just kind of walk everyone through it. And
Yes.
they're on the back as well.
Yeah. Jacqueline, look at that. Come
Yeah.
on.
And hold it up for the camera so
Oh.
they can see.
I'm looking
Oh,
at
wrong
this. I'm
one.
looking,
Yep.
I'm looking at this
There
side.
we go. That's
there
what
she
happened.
is. There's my baby.
Jacqueline.
And then there's Jacqueline again. There's this one.
Down on the waterfront, it looks like.
Yes, she's giving Lincoln the low five.
There you go.
I love that picture.
Cool. And there you are again. That's election night, I believe,
Yes,
right?
this
Yes.
is me and the little nugget
Awesome.
on election night.
And
My
then
biggest.
You're running there, I think.
And this one, she's out on the campaign trail, working mommy who's married to a corporate lawyer. Many a times that Jacqueline and I had to go make an appearance together.
I
So
got you.
she was a trooper.
I'll take it. Keep on going. This
Let's
is
see.
you
It's
getting
me
respect.
on the bench and giving it. I think
Yes, that's
that's a
true.
big
That's
thing.
true.
It's my headshot. I like that picture. There's a flag, military family. I like Kua.
That's great.
Let's see. On the campaign
Out on
trail
the
again.
trail, I
There's
love it.
Jacqueline.
Yeah.
Oh, this one. Okay.
Yes. Yeah,
This
go
is-
ahead and talk to that.
All
for a
right.
moment,
So
too.
this is
Show it to the-
Jacqueline in her car seat when she's going to come home. She is barely 3 pounds. And this is the headrest that goes around a child's head in the car seat. And see, it goes around her entire body. And below her is a towel rolled up so she can even fit into the car seat. Where's the other one? So I've got
Where
that.
she was in the beginning.
And
here.
then look at that.
Oh, yeah,
So
this one too.
yeah.
If I can
She
tilt
started
it.
here.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah, it's
see,
amazing.
I'm telling you, she's going to do great things.
I bet you that's Jason.
Yes, there's 6'4" daddy
Yeah, yeah.
with the nugget. And that's a little Olivia. That's the
Oh,
dog. The
yes,
5-pound
gotta keep the
Yorkie.
dog in there.
She's
There
vicious.
you guys on the trail, I think.
Yeah, on the trail. It's a family event to run for office, right?
Oh.
It's not just the candidate, it's the entire family.
It is. I got that T-shirt, but it's
Yeah.
another story.
Yeah, yes. Another
Not
one
my
on
interview. Go
on the
ahead.
bench. And then
Yeah.
this is not too long ago. This is Jason, Jacqueline, and my niece Kennedy.
That's great.
And she's 3 months younger than Jacqueline. My sister retired from the military, her and her husband, and they moved here so we could raise their girls together. But this is at a pizza night, and kids make their own pizzas. And this is Jason. You know, he's an awesome father. So they're having a good time.
So you were both very engaged in Jacqueline, it looks like.
Oh yes, big time. Yes.
Do you think there's a difference in today's leaders than in previous generations? And I could ask that in the sense of judges as well, since you have that kind of unique viewfinder.
Is there a difference? You know, I think it all changes with the times, right?
Right.
So I think the basics are the same, and that is you know, dedication, trying to serve the greater good, and it just kind of ebbs and flows with what we're dealing with. So I think that we still have the same sorts of compassion. I don't think that we now have that one single leader that these people could go to before. There's one person that would lead the march or the charge for different issues, and now there's, you know, we have leaders in all types of areas, which I think is good. I think that's beneficial.
Now, I'm trying to think how to couch this question because you have a unique view at being a presiding judge. What has been the most, without giving names away, the most triumphant or joyous moment you've had as a judge, and then obviously the darkest, challenging, not unrewarding, but wow, I really had to do that because
Right.
it was the right thing to do or whatever.
Well,
You can start with either one.
Sure. The proud moments are always when you have someone before you that has made a bad decision, gone down the wrong road, and,
Right.
and you are committed to, we're going to get you on the right path here. And as a judge, if people think we just, you know, you're in front of me, I throw you in jail. You're in front of me, it's not that, right? And we care, and you take the time, and that's something I don't think the public gets to see enough of. But I have a couple of young ladies and some young men that had made some bad decisions, and one of them has turned it around. And I remember talking to her 2 years ago and said, you are not going to die on my watch, right? I'm not going to turn on the news and you've had an overdose. You are going to get it together because you
Wow.
are destined for greatness. And I could see that about her. And there was something about her. She's got her family there and they're crying. And because she was in a lot of trouble, right? Now she's employed. This is 2 years later. She just stopped by the courthouse to leave a note for me to tell me something to the effect of, you know, thank you for saving my life, which God saved her life, but I was just happy to play a part in it, a small part in it. But when you have those moments where you know that you have taken the time and really shown someone that, not just told them, but shown them you believe in them, and I expect more from you. So does that mean I didn't have to incarcerate her? No, I did. But does that mean I put you in and want to bring you out better than I put you in, and that is my commitment to you? Absolutely. As long as you will do what you're supposed to do, I will work with you every step of the way.
Now, in my research of you, you made the comment, the person you are is the judge you will be, or something like that. Can
Yes.
you elaborate on that a little bit? You kind of touched on it.
You know, I think it's like with money, right? So
Right.
if you inherit a bunch of money or earn a bunch of money, if you were a really nice person before and you were broke and you were nice, you're going to be rich and nice. And if you were a broke jerk, you're going to be a rich
gotcha.
jerk. And
I
so I
gotcha.
think that's the same, because the robe should not ever define you, right? This is, and that's why I don't like being called Judge Williams outside of court. We're, you know, in
Right.
court there's things that have to happen, but I'm simply Erica Lee Williams, who happens to be a judge. Just like everybody
I
has a
love that.
title and a role.
Uh-huh.
I am not, that is not who I am. I am Jacqueline's mother. I am Jason's wife. I am a committed citizen. I'm a whole bunch of things. And it's not that I don't appreciate my job, but I am
No,
not
no, I
that
got
title.
you.
I'm not that role. And so I think when you put the robe on, you cannot change into some other person. And who you are is who you will be when you sit up there. So if you're compassionate and all that, I think it just gets amplified. Doesn't mean I don't have to make hard decisions. Doesn't mean I don't have to
Right.
do things that are hurtful for me sometimes, because it makes me sad. You do what you have to do.
Do you feel like the people that you preside over, I don't want to say repeat offender, but they're kind of stuck in a pattern? and
Some.
You see them again?
Some, yes.
Or do they, most of them, get the message?
No, and see that, right.
And I don't, maybe I didn't count that right.
Well, it's
but-
okay though, because that's when I talked about earlier, as
Right.
far as everybody having the same opportunities.
Ah,
It's not
good
to make
point.
excuses, but sometimes what messages are to get if you don't know where your next meal is going to come from, right?
Great
So I
point.
can tell you all day long, you shouldn't steal. And you're going to be back before me stealing meat. You're going to be back before me stealing toothpaste or diapers or whatever. So you get the message. You just can't and haven't been able to change your circumstances.
You
And
can
so,
enforce the message
yes,
personally.
yes.
I got
So
it.
I have people before me that are repeat offenders. Do I have knuckleheads? Is that kind of probably what you're asking? Yes, you're going to have people who don't get the message, but you have other people who their situations are what they are. Sometimes either beyond their control because they were born that way and into that life, or because of a decisions they've made that have led them down a path. But I think I believe in second chances, right? I think everybody can hopefully with a little bit of help and prayers and
That's good.
turn it around.
And if you were granted 2 weeks right today, a mini vacation from life, they closed down the bar, or whatever you call it,
Yeah.
district court, no technology, minor detail.
Good. Okay.
Where would you go? Who would you take with you? What would you do?
I would go to Hawaii. My
Okay.
husband and I were married there.
Okay.
Fantastic wedding. Not just because it was mine. It just really was a really good wedding. Totally would
It's
do that
another
again.
TV show,
Oh
right?
my! I mean, it was top of the top.
Off
all
the
the weddings
Hook
I've been.
and all that
top-
stuff,
It was
right?
just. It was beautifully planned, well executed. Everything that I had set forth to plan went as it was supposed to.
Okay.
Except there was like a
Oh,
huge
no.
monsoon that
Oh,
morning.
no. I
It's
thought you were going to
though.
say the rain got
Sun,
lost. or
the
something.
sun came out. It was beautiful. A rainbow came up when we were asked to say our vows and say I do.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody looks up. There's a sprinkle and there's a rainbow. So who would I take? I would take my whole family.
Sure.
We would go to Hawaii and just veg out and go back to the Four Seasons in Maui and have a fantastic time.
Now, was this one of those intimate, on the beach, kind of close family,
60
intimate weddings?
people came.
Well, that's pretty good for Hawaii.
Well, and we were going to get married here. I had planned it out. It was going to be at the Brown Hotel.
Yeah.
But my husband and I both were at law firms at the time. And so our guest list was reaching 500 people.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so
it
then
doesn't
it
take
was,
long.
hey, what do we do with this? And so we went to Hawaii. We made a week of it. And so our guests arrived. We met every single guest at the airport with a lei and an itinerary and a gift bag. And I had activities planned for every day up until the wedding. And then the next day after the wedding, because people get married and you don't see them, right? So
Right.
we had a barbecue at my sister's house, who was stationed in Hawaii at the time, the next day. And then he and I flew off to Maui for our honeymoon, and the rest of the guests stayed. So most people took 2 weeks off to come to Hawaii and see a wedding in between. But we went parasailing and
great.
skydiving and horseback riding. We had all these activities, and the whole family was there. It was really awesome.
If you could write a note to yourself, your younger self,
Uh-huh.
what might be in that note to yourself? Knowing what you know now, having
Yeah.
the luxury of the history and the biography being on this side, what would you tell yourself?
I would tell me to keep being me, because I think my whole time someone's always tried to make me be a different person, right?
Uh-huh.
There's that. I'm not. Let's see. You don't act like this. You don't. There's all these things. I'm not tall enough. I'm not this. I'm not that. And to my younger self, which I think I got the message early on though because of my parents, it was you are good enough, right? You are more than good enough. And so I would just continue to tell myself, you keep being you, because it's going to take you exactly where you need to be.
That's great. I love that. So, judgeship, let's just pretend you retire from the bar or whatever the case is, or from the district court, and you have an opportunity to go do something else.
Uh-huh.
So what would be, I guess you're doing your dream job. What would be your dream? It doesn't even have to be profession. It could be personal.
I would be the anchor on Good Morning America.
I love
That's
it.
easy.
So that's Robin Roberts type?
Diane Sawyer,
Oh,
right? I
I
love
got-
Robin Roberts, but
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
next
so the
level.
hardcore, like you want to do the evening news
Yes.
kind of.
Yes.
Well, that's not Good Morning America,
absolutely.
but
Well, she was though. That's where
right,
she started.
that's
And
true.
so, and when Diane was on there, and I love the cast now, but when she was on there, there was a different.
It was a
kind
different
of the George
vibe.
Stephanopoulos does
Yeah.
that too, but more of this of the hardcore serious news.
Right.
Of course, you have to tone it differently for daytime television, but
Sure.
anything in that realm,
Uh-huh.
without question.
What's your favorite car? You can have any car you want.
Any car I want. I think I really like the growl. I like so a Ford Mustang,
There you go.
but an old one, like a
Nice.
1969.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. I
Yes.
love that. I love that. I'm trying to think how to couch this one here. Do you see, not so much the people that come in, but maybe the people you serve with, colleagues or whatever, do you see a certain type of individual that gravitates towards being a judge?
No.
Really?
No.
I would have thought,
No.
like a military or law enforcement.
No,
or
all of us have
kind-
different backgrounds, which I think
Interesting.
is so important. I came from a military family and was practicing at a big law firm, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is different than some of our other judges who have had, they were prosecutors or public defenders or some type of criminal background. we have one who's a former police officer. So we have so many different types of people and that's what I love because, and that's what you need. You need your bench to reflect your community. You need your bench to have different walks of life because your life experiences come with you every day, and they should, to the bench. So, yeah, no, I don't think so.
That is amazing. I would not have thought that at all.
Just as though I think the same thing about like going to law school. People ask me, what should I major in college? Something you're going to get a good grade in, because nothing prepares you for law school but law school. So you don't have to major in X thing. I majored in corporate and organizational communications, obviously because I talk a lot.
If you had to name someone young watching this that we won't meet, as observing the interview with you as a judge, what would be the one character trait? Is there one or two that you seem to think that resonates as a judge?
You have to like people.
Yeah.
And that kind of seems like a no-brainer, but it's not. I mean, because you're the day, especially in district court. I mean, it is the people's court. 90% of cases start out in district court. We're the busiest building in the state, not just Louisville. And so you have to like people because you're going to see them all day long. And so I think being a quote-unquote people person is important. Also being able to listen and make good decisions, hard decisions.
Now, this next question we ask all of our guests, young or older. God forbid you walk out of here. This is the end of the bio.
Yes.
It's the last day on earth. How do you want to be remembered?
I want to have made my mark and made a difference. I want the area in which I was in to be better because I was there. It's very important, especially growing up military. We moved around a lot, so you didn't have a lot of time, but you better find the time to make a difference. And so I think that, with my sister, she's the same. She's definitely is a role model for me. She's committed on making life better for other people. So yes, that I made a difference. That's what I would want.
Well, there's a lot more chapters to be written, I think.
So. I hope so.
Yeah, you're good to go.
I'm scared to leave now. I don't know what you're going to do to me.
It's quite a pleasure, Erica, having you on Leadership Landscape TV.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
If you have any general feedback or a guest suggestion, feel free to email me at kurt@leadershiplandscapetv.com. We're also on Facebook. Just type in Leadership Landscape TV. Till next time, I'm Kurt Jacobs. Thanks for watching.